Let's look at number 4 and number 5 in this video. Number 4 says insert parentheses in each expression to make a true equation. For number 1, we can just guess and check with these, and I'm actually going to go ahead and put these in the correct place right away. I did guess and check quite a bit with some of these, but if I put my parentheses there, I get 5 minus 2, which is 3, times 6 minus 5 is 1. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 plus 2 equals 5. For number 2, we can go ahead and insert parentheses around 12 divided by 4 and parentheses around 3 times 3. If I go ahead and do that, I get 3 plus 10 minus 9 plus 7, and 3 plus 10 is 13. 13 minus 9 is 4, and 4 plus 7 is 11. For number 3, I've worked around quite a bit, and I think there might be a typo. I believe this last number is not supposed to be a 6, but instead, if we make that a 5, I think we can solve it then. But if we leave it a 6, there is no solution. I cannot find a way for this to work out. If that is a 5, though, let's play around a little bit here and see if we can make something work. So 20, oops, let me switch colors. We'll do kind of a pinkish here. So 22 minus 32 minus 5 times 3 minus 5 equals 30. So I would probably just start by putting parentheses possibly around the 5 minus 3. So 22 minus 32 minus 15 minus 5. I think that's going to be way too large, but 22 minus 32 is a negative 10. So if I put parentheses around there and do that first, negative 10 minus 15 is a negative 25, and a minus 5 is a negative 30. So maybe there are possibly two typos, and if we make that a negative 30, we can get that to work out quite nicely right off the bat. So since we're changing that last number to a positive 5, let's go ahead and make that a 30 as well, or negative 30 as well. But there could be other ways to get a positive 30 if we just play around with that a little bit longer. But for time's sake, since there was already an error, let's just go ahead and make that a negative 30 as well. Okay, number 4 does work out though, so if you're playing around with this one, hopefully you came up with the answer. If we go ahead and put parentheses around the 8 minus 4, we'll notice that we get 12 minus 8 minus 4 is 4 times 5. 12 minus 4 times 5 is 20, so 12 minus 20 is in fact a negative 8, so that does check out. And then for number 5, it says evaluate each expression using a graphing calculator. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up a graphing calculator right here. And let's just make sure that we type everything in appropriately. So parentheses are very important when we're working with our graphing calculator. So using substitution, I'll get 250. And I'm going to make sure that 250 is inside parentheses when I work here. And again, we're going to insert a 250 for x minus a 250 and another parentheses with a negative 120. So I'm just going to go ahead and double check and make sure all my parentheses have starting and ending ones, and then when I hit enter, I get 66,000 for number 1. So I'm going to come back here and put my 66,000. Right, let's bring back up my calculator. Let's clear it out and look at number 2. Again, parentheses are very important, so I'm going to go ahead and start out with what I have. I'm going to put in another parentheses before I substitute in my x, so that's going to be a 0.02. Another parentheses for the y, which is a negative 0.025, minus parentheses y, which is a negative 0.025, to the 4th power. So we have that. n parentheses squared. So notice that this parentheses will go ahead and actually end the one that I began with. And if I square everything on the outside, it gives me 2.5 e to the negative 7th power. What that means is I will actually have to move this decimal point 7 places to the left before I can get my correct answer there. So scientific notation, very important here with our answer number 2. For number 3, I'm going to go ahead and clear that out. Again, parentheses are super important, so I'm actually going to need parentheses here and parentheses here when I'm go ahead and type this into my graphing calculator. So x is 1/2. And if I'm going to keep it in fractions, I'm going to have to put parentheses around each fraction there. Plus y, which is 3/2, minus z, which is a negative 1. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and put n parentheses because that's going to close off my entire numerator. So it's going to perform that. I'm going to put my division sign for my fraction bar, and I'm going to start with my parentheses down here for the denominator. And now I'm going to go ahead and start to type in again my fraction. So 1/2 for x and 3/2 for y. Plus, and then 3/2 for y. And negative 1 for z. Oopsie. Negative 1 for z. Plus x, which is 1/2. And z, which is negative 1. All right, and then another n parentheses to finish off the denominator there. So when I hit enter, I get a negative 2.4 for my answer for number 3. So negative 2.4 is what we get there for number 3. And number 4, let's go ahead and just do our 3 plus negative 5 squared for our numerator, divided by, now we have to insert parentheses again for the denominator, so 4 times 3 squared minus negative 5 squared. And then I'm going to end my parentheses because that needs to take place in just the denominator of that fraction. So we get a 0.36 repeating for number 4. And for number 5, the last one here in lesson 2, I'm going to clear that out. Again, very careful here. We're actually going to need 2 sets of parentheses because we probably should go like this around both of those so we know that our calculator takes the appropriate order of operations. So 4 minus negative 2 cubed, that's our numerator, divided by, and I might need, actually I don't think I need this parentheses right here, so I'm going to erase that. An extra set of parentheses here, so 4 cubed minus a negative 2, there's my denominator, plus, and now I'm starting my second fraction, so 4 plus negative 2 squared divided by 4 plus negative 2 to the 4th power. And I believe I have all my n parentheses there. So we should get 3.4727.